Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. It's our second review in the Marvel in Review series. This time we're doing The Incredible Hulk. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent. Today we're going to be talking about the 2008 Marvel film, The Incredible Hulk, directed by Louis Leterrier, starring Edward Norton and Tim Roth as the Abomination. I'm sorry, all these things are just rolling in my head. And we have a great General Ross. We have Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. And I think that's about it. So I got requested to do a recap of the film for anybody who's not going to rewatch the Marvel movies, but just wants to watch these as a catch-all. A catch-up for Infinity War coming out this summer in May. So pretty much The Incredible Hulk is kind of it's not a remake of the 2003 Hulk film starring, or made by Ang Lee that had Hulk fighting a giant cloud monster, or that was his father in that movie. So this movie starts out in the credits. You see Edward Norton as Bruce Banner in the lab, and he gets turns into the Hulk by gamma radiation from a science experiment. There's like this green laser thing that goes on his face. They're doing something with genes or his brain or something like that, and that thing is what makes him turn into the Incredible Hulk. Panic ensues, and we catch up with Bruce Banner in Brazil, you know, an undisclosed time later. So you find Bruce Banner, he's in this bottling plant, he gets cut, a drop of blood goes into one of the soda bottles and stuff, and that soda bottle is exported, and you see Stan Lee drinking it, and he later dies. So that's our Stan Lee cameo. Hopefully I'll mention all of them in these movies reviews anyway. So the military is on the hunt for the Incredible Hulk. They're trying to find him. They're trying to get Banner to capture him to figure out what made Banner become the Incredible Hulk. They want to take that serum or take those genes, take whatever it is that makes him the Hulk, and they want to weaponize it. And they've already started to try and do that. There's a mention in a military hangar with General Ross and Emil Blonsky, who is played by Tim Roth. He later turns into the Abomination. There's a mention of the Super Soldier Serum, or Super Soldier Program, formula, whatever you want to call it. And they actually inject Emil Blonsky with a version of that serum, but it's not quite 100% there, so there's our first drop at Captain America and another connected universe thing that we had going on there. So that kind of gives Emil Blonsky a greater strength. He runs faster, he's stronger, but he's not quite Captain America. So you have Banner. Eventually he finds Liv Tyler. He visits her at college. There's a big battle on the college campus with Hulk and some tanks and some sonic guns that kind of stop him. And this is where you see Emil Blonsky fight the Incredible Hulk with his newfound strength and power. He's still no match for him because this Hulk is like, I don't know, it seems like he's 9 to 12 feet tall. He's really big. So later on in the film, they find another scientist, Liv Tyler, or who's playing Betty Ross, and Banner. They find another scientist who's been communicating with Banner secretly, and they finally meet face to face, and it turns out this other scientist, Banner, thought he was working on a cure for him, but this other guy saw all the different ways they can manipulate this formula, this serum, whatever it is, the blood of Bruce Banner, in ways that would help people and, you know, make them stronger, grow organs. He sees a whole bunch of uses for it. So Banner's kind of horrified by this, and you know, kind of wrecks the lab, gets angry, wrecks the lab, and then you see the scientist kind of lay down on the ground later on in the film, I think when Blonsky comes by, but he gets some of that blood on his head. And this doctor is named, I think it's Samuel Stearns, but he later turns into the, in the comics anyway, not in the films just yet so far, he turns into the Hulk villain called the Leader. And basically his superpower is he's got such a massive brain, it's almost like he has the Area 51 alien head on a human body, but his brain is, you know, massive. So he's got enhanced artificial brain power and stuff like that. Super smart guy. So he's supposed to be able to outthink the Hulk and trap him, and it never works out in the comics. You might remember him from the 90s cartoons. Normally he's green, huge head, bald. You can see kind of the brain stuff on the top. And he wears like an orange jumpsuit and stuff like that. But Blonsky tracks him down. in the same lab, and he tells Dr. Stearns, this is before he gets hurt, to give him whatever he can to make him like the Hulk. So Dr. Stearns gives him this injection. Blonsky, it mutates with the super soldier formula that's already in him. He mutates into this thing that they later call an Abomination, which is a Marvel Comics character. Doesn't quite look like the Abomination from the comics. Abomination from the comics has got like very large fin ears and is very like scaly. Like you can see all the different scales on his arms and body and stuff in the comics. This guy is kind of like a proto Batman v Superman Doomsday. He's got bones popping out. He's got like a really weird ridge spine. He's just very, very ugly. So Hulk and Blonsky fight in Harlem. I think is where the lab was. And they kind of wreck the place. And then the military shows up. And they say, don't shoot Hulk, shoot the other guy. They finally defeat the Abomination. Hulk runs away. And later on, he's in another jungle later down the road. Maybe, I think in Canada. And the film ends with a zoom in on Banner's eyes. He's doing some like meditation, trying to keep his heart rate up and down and learn how to raise it and lower it so he can control himself. And it looks like he's been able to master turning into the Hulk on purpose, and that's how the film ends. And then our Marvel tag at the end of this one was Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark walking into a bar with General Ross saying, I hear you've got a problem, we're assembling a team. What kind of team? And then it kind of ends there. So continuity-wise, this kind of doesn't make sense. It came out right after Iron Man, but it kind of takes place after Iron Man 2, which is the next film we're going to review in this series. We're going to do them as in the order they were released in our time, not the chronological story order or whatever. So as you remember them coming out, that's the order we're going to do them. But anyway, at the end of Iron Man 1, at the very end of the credits, you just had Nick Fury talking about the Avengers Initiative. Jump forward to Iron Man 2, which comes out after this film, and he's starting to, we're just learning what S.H.I.E.L.D. is and what S.H.I.E.L.D. does. We're not really sure who else is out there, and we'll get to this later next week. So this teaser cut is kind of just there to make us excited. It doesn't really make sense in terms of, this film comes out after Iron Man. Doesn't make sense at all, really. It should be later on. But anyway, that's a minor nitpick. I like Edward Norton as Bruce Banner. I remember reading that he was very involved in the making of this film. I don't know if he was a producer or something, but he helped like rewrite the script either on set or before. He's very involved in his film projects, so he probably was pressuring Louis Leterrier, who had done the Transporter films with Jason. Oh gosh, can't remember the guy. Anyway, he's from the Fast and Furious crank. That guy. He had done the Transporter films, Louis Leterrier, and then he got to do the Hulk. Now, those films were very interesting, the Transporter ones, because it's all martial arts and grabbing the things in the environment around you to beat other people and things like that. The Hulk didn't really have any of that, so I don't know. He can do action, that made sense, but I don't know where they got the idea that Hulk was going to do these same things, because he's a big brute. He's not really this limber and small, quick fighter guy, so I don't really know where that came from. Also, this film doesn't really hold up in terms of special effects. When you're looking at the Hulk, there's maybe only one or two shots that look really, really good. Again, I know this was 2008, but CG was still pretty good. It's not as great as it is today, I know, but we're talking 10 years ago. But it was still pretty good. I mean, a lot of shots in Iron Man you did not know were CG or CG add-ons, things like that. So I guess just comparing it to the CG in Iron Man, this film falls really, really flat. There's a lot of quick cuts where you don't really see CG Hulk impacting anything in the real world. Like, for instance, the college campus fight. It looks like the Hulk kicks some big trucks and things, but in actuality, you never see the Hulk's foot like connect. It's just a quick, the Hulk moves his leg, and then you see a quick cut to the trucks moving. So it's kind of inferred. You never really see the Hulk really interacting with the environment. It's all kind of quick cuts to get around having to CG that in. The final fight is just a lot of big bruisers fighting. It's not like the best movie bruiser fight I've ever seen, but I do remember being entertained by it when I watched it the first time in the movie theater. Also, when I rewatched it again last week. So, this Hulk film, we've had 2 so far. I don't think we're really going to get another one because the distribution rights lie with Universal Studios. not with Marvel. Marvel has the rights to use the character in their other films, which is why you had you had Hulk appear in Thor 3, Thor Ragnarok, but you're never going to get another solo film because Marvel Studios, now owned by Disney, doesn't want to let Universal have a piece of that pie. So that's why we're never really going to get another solo Hulk film like this one. But, you know, I really liked Edward Norton. I thought he would have made a great addition to the Avengers, but I guess him just being too much of a movie star and being involved or having too much of an opinion probably got in the way of what the filmmakers wanted to do, what the producers wanted to do. The end result is a good film. It's much better than the Ang Lee Hulk film from 2003. You know, I think it's infinitely more rewatchable and interesting than that one, just in terms of a popcorn action set piece. So it's unfortunate that he wasn't in the Avengers, but we'll get to that one when we talk about the Avengers later on. But I think Edward Norton played a great Dr. Banner. I really do like, I think what I liked most about Ed Norton as Bruce Banner is that he's not a big guy. He's not very muscular. He doesn't have really big, broad shoulders. He's kind of a spindly guy, you know, kind of tiny. So the transformation from, you know, his kind of waif figure into this massive bruising Hulk is much more impressive and meaningful. About the Hulk comics were always about kind of Dr. Banner being picked on and then turning into somebody who could solve his problems and fight bullies and stuff like that. You don't really get that with Eric Bana in 2003. He's kind of a big Australian dude with big muscles. And even the current Hulk, gosh, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Not Russo. Anyway, he's kind of got a broader frame. He's shorter, on the shorter side, but he works out, the actor works out or whatever, but it doesn't quite fit that thin, spindly, nerdy Bruce Banner that's from the comics as much as Edward Norton does in this film. So all in all, I give the Hulk 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think it's a really, you know, it's an above average film. It's not quite good. I think on a rewatch basis, if I reviewed this when it just came out, I probably would have given it a 4. But 10 years later, it's got to go down to 3.5 just because the special effects don't really hold up. And knowing as much as I know about movie making, I can see all the quick cuts to get around and save money and things like that. So I think a 3.5 out of 5 is where this film sits in 2018. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Our next film in the Marvel film build-up is Iron Man 2. So if you watch that the week this comes out, by the end of, I think the 20th is the week that you should watch Iron Man 2. You'll be on the road to catching up on the Marvel movies. I'm going to be watching that soon, and I will have that video up much faster than I did the Iron Man and Incredible Hulk ones. Hopefully, I'm doing a movie and a review a week for you guys here on BK's Bullets. So thank you. Let me know what you thought about the movie. Let me know what you thought about the video. Who is the guy playing the Hulk now? Let me know in the comments because I totally forgot. I'm sorry. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell if you want to know when my videos come out. And thank you guys, as always, for watching. I will see you guys in the funny pages.